So welcome to this machine of Netmon. It's going to be an easy Windows machine just because I want to get better at Windows and it was, the next one in the list. So why not start with this one? It's going to say what it's going to, how we can pawn this box. First one is with an anonymous HTB server, which we can actually access. And then there's going to be sort of password stored in configuration files, which we can find. And then we can actually get the system shell. So first of all, if we look at the mnet scan, we just start from top to bottom. We see that anonymous FTP access is allowed, really interesting. And then we also see, of course, a web server, and these are most of the time some standard Windows services. I don't think 5985 is a standard one, so it might be that it's serving some HTTP API for the web server. But we're just going to start at the top and look into the anonymous access. So if we just start a new tab, we're going to go into anonymous at 10.10.10.152. We can of course just log into the path. Well, we can't. I misspelled anonymous. Anonym. Oh Jesus. I don't know. 10.10.10.152, and we can actually access into it, and now we can actually see what's inside of here. Now, it already said that where we needed to look. So if you look on the website, we can see that we have PRTG. If you want to find, for example, such a program, and most of the time when you give them, or when they give you a program, they want you to look at sort of configuration files. So maybe you find a password, or it's going to be some execution, which we can do here, like maybe some SQL injection, I don't know how this works, right? But what we see here is that we have perf logs, program files, whatever. On Windows, if you do an LSLA, you can actually see program data. I believe this is where most of the data of files is stored, also on your own Windows computer, but I'm not sure about that one. So if we just go into program data, we can actually see that we have Paisley. Paisley is the software, I think they make the company. More about PHP Network and Paisley. So they're the network monitoring company, which I guess they produce this sort of software. So of course, those are just things you have to notice. Otherwise, Paisley wouldn't sort of say anything to me. If I didn't know, I will probably go into Corfig because it just sounds interesting. But first of all, we want to go into Paisley. So if we go into Paisley, we can actually see our sort of files. There's going to be PRTG network monitor. So if we just go into PRTG network monitor, we can actually see sort of the files that's here. Now, I just want to get everything, and I believe you can do a wget r, and it should download every single file, I believe. You can't do get star. Okay, so we just have to note of the sort of directory we're currently in, and we're going to exit out of this. And now if we do a wget r for recursive, and then do ftp /10.10.10.152, you can actually specify where you want your sort of, or what kind of files you want. So we want everything in here, right? So we're going to download everything. And now if I look at what we have here, we have a sort of directory here, which we can actually go into. So if you go into 10.10, you can see we actually have the sort of entire file structure that we just got from Paisley. Why doesn't it show it? Come on, show it. All right. Hey, it didn't download the files. That's why it didn't show anything. Wait. Okay. Let's just try that again. So remove 10.10.10. Remove rf 10.10.10. Let's just go into there again. So we do a wget. Where is it? Wget on. Why didn't this work? All right, let's just go one step higher and try again. So I do see some more files. I think this is actually the thing we want to see. So if we just pause it here, we can see it's actually downloading files. That's system, ticket data old. So now I believe if we do a tree, so now we actually see some files. What's interesting most of the time, if you can just look at sort of .config, .conf, or anything, right? Most of the time, .back is old backup files, so those can also be interesting. But I also saw something about configuration auto backup, so this might contain some file. I'm gonna spoil it, already opened this, and it contains the exact same, I believe, as the .dat. It's gonna be a bit of cheating, but I want to move into this file, so we're gonna go into, move into there. So cd10, and then we have cd program data, and then we have Paisley, then we have cd, of course, the PRTGG, and then we can actually sort of or Vim might be better. to see what kind of passwords sort of we can actually see here. So if we vim into this file, that's not the correct one, vim into this file, just like vim. I don't like nano that much. We can actually sort of use page down to try to, you know, sort of wop to it, and we actually see an admin password. So this is going to be, I'm just going to copy this, right? Which is just going to be interesting for the next part. You're not going to find anything else inside of this file, but what you could have done as well is if we look into like how we can sort of grab passwords, you can actually do a grab recursive, and L is the thing you're looking for. I think it's, for some reason it's string, I'm not sure. And then we can actually do sort of the thing we're looking at. So I want to look into where we're currently, and then write anything to def null, which is not have password. And we can actually see that these files do have a password. So we just want to see, we went into this file, we actually saw that we have prtg admin with this password. Oh, it didn't copy the password, damn it. All right, then we have to go into there again, right? All right, what's it called again? So I'm just gonna, how do I copy in Vim? Yank, right? Something with yank. Let's go. Try again. Oh, it is where I ended up. Right. There we go. There it is. It's not there. All right. Let's see. So I want to copy this. I think it's Control V for visual mode. And then we do I believe that's how I should be copying it. No, it's not. Damn it. Okay. Let's just cat it then. Or add with the number of like top 600 lines of prtg. It's gonna autocomplete for me, configuration.all.back. Hopefully it shows this here. So this is not really the proper way to do it, but I'm not sure how to copy in Vim, so I'm gonna find it out. Why is it not? All right, come on, give it to me. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. It should be here. There we go. Okay, this is not really a proper way to do it anyway. Right, so now we have the password, which is good. Okay, cool. First thing, when you get a password like this, you can try to SSH into it, but we know it's gonna have a login. So if we look into prtg network monitor default creds, it's gonna have, I think it's gonna show it. It's gonna be prtg admin, but I just want to show that it shows it. So we have prtg admin, jack cookies, so both prtg, like administrator and system and prtg admin. So we can actually try to use that. So if you now do use prtg admin with the password, it's not gonna work. And why? Well, it's actually 2019 box, and it's a bit cheeky how they did this one, but you just have to change 2018 to 2019. And it's a bit cheeky. Like it is a bit cheeky, but I guess you can sort of think critically about this, because of course most of the time there's a password policy which you have to follow and stuff. So that's why you have to change it. Well, in here, all it confirmed is that we now know the password, so we can actually sort of work with this one. And we can actually see the version as well. So we 18.137 something, right? So what the first thing I want to use is probably going to be search exploit. So search exploit, and then we have prtg, I believe it is. And then I see remote code execution, and we have 18.238. So that's actually ahead of this version. It's not always the case, because most of the time when there's going to be an exploit which is has a higher version than the one we're currently at, most of the time this version is actually vulnerable, unless of course it's code that changed and it only just recently got added. So what I want to do, I want to copy this, and I do think it's mirror, but I'm not sure. So let's just search exploit help. I want to mirror this one. So here we have mirror. So search exploit, mirror this one to here, I believe it is. Do I want to override? Yes. Do I have it? There we go. So it's a bit messy, and I know it's not the proper way to do it. It's gonna be here. So we're gonna move it back, right? So 4.6. We're gonna go to /home/kick. Oh, it's Kali. Boxes, and then we have Netmon. So there we go. So if we now go to /home/Kali/boxes/Netmon, we have it here. It's a bit cleaner, I guess, if we have it this way. What I want to do is, it's already executable, so I'm not going to have to change it. I just want to run it. I'm going to run it with sudo because sometimes there's going to be binaries which are not allowed to get imported here. So what I want to do is just run it. So /467 shell Kali. It's going to say, well, okay, you're missing something, right? And we're just going to reconstruct whatever it is that they say. So HTB /10.10.10.152. And then we have going to be the cookies. I believe this one is going to be. What it's going to do, log into the app, run a script to create a new user pen test in the administrator group with password pen test. Okay, an example you're just going to be here. So what are these? Well, these are going to be the cookies, and they don't really explain how you can get them. But if you just go into Firefox, it's actually able to sort of grab these from the page itself. So if we go over to the inspect tools, I don't see it here, but if you go into, it should be here actually. More tools. Page source, no, web developer tools, right? And then here you have a tab called storage. If you don't see it, you actually have to click here and it's going to be right here on storage. So now we just see our different cookies. So what I want to do is just enlarge this a bit. Can I not? Please allow me to. Okay, can I move this at least? No, I can't. Okay. Anyway, so we see the names, so GA, GID, and Octopus, one something something. And we see that's actually the exact names that we've got going on here. So I'm just going to have it GA is, and then we have something, right? And then we have GID is something, and also Octo. And it's going to be a longer name, so I prefer to just copy it because it might be that this one is actually different. 1A3, right? So if I just now copy this, it could be that it's, of course, the exact same. In this case, it is. Sometimes it isn't, so just be careful about that one. Right, and then we also have the GAT. The underscore GAT is one. I'm not sure what that is. But I guess I need it. I don't see GAT. Maybe I don't need it. Anyway, we're going to have to copy this value. So we have GA. So we're going to move over to our GA value and copy it in. Then we're going to move back to Firefox, copy this value. It's going to be cookie, just values, because it sort of authenticates us, right? And then we have to move over to the GID value right there. And then we're going to move over to the Octopus value. And hopefully we just have to do a bit of praying here. This works. So we're going to run this. It's going to say file created, which is a really good thing, but it might be that it actually created the file on my computer. So it's going to send a notification and a new user. So this does seem great. And it's added the user to the pentest group, which is also great. And it's done. All right, cool. So it actually created something with, it created the user pentest with the password pentest. How can I get into that, right? Because if we look into our Nmap, there's no SSH, and I don't really see anything. But what is interesting is actually we can actually access the file shares. And one way you can do it, I think it's with SMB map, SMB client or whatever on here. So I think we can actually access it with 152. And if we just have this drive, right? I believe you can somehow access this one. Oh, we need backslashes. Just gonna try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe it is. Not enough slashes. What do you mean not enough slashes? I don't know. All right, I don't know this method, but I do know another method, which is just opening and mounting it. So what you can actually do here is if we just say, I think it's SMB //10.10.10.152, and then you do have to do a file, I believe. So I think this is good enough, maybe. Not good enough. Okay, so it's going to be SMB //10.10.10.152 /c, and I think this is the drive. Yes, it changed it to a folder, which is what we want, and now we can actually access it. This is not supposed to happen. It's supposed to forget my user. So unmount. I'm gonna have to unmount this. Right. Sorry, I did it before, so that's why it's showing it. 10.10.10.152. /c into the share here, and then now let's open it again. Okay, what it's going to do is going to open up a box, and you have to provide the username and the password. I held it at work group for the domain. I don't think it matters. It's just because of where it's going to sort of add this thing, I believe. So if we now go to users and administrator, this is going to be the default place for the root box. So we have root.txt. It's for some reason it opens my Codium, not Notepad, so it takes a while. But then you get the root flag here. Didn't show the user, but the user flags actually be able to found through the FTP server. So if we just FTP into the server again, and we just provide something, right? We can actually just go to users, and then we have the public, and then the desktop, the get user.txt, exit, get user.txt. So that's how you get a user. And this was basically the box. It wasn't that difficult, but still, I guess kind of cheeky and having to change 2018 to 2019. And you had to, of course, change the cookies as well with the exploit. So that's basically how this one works.